Let's see, Madalyn Murray OHair. I know nothing about this petition, so I'm not going to make any announcements about it because, so far as I know, this announcement about her has been going around for some time. Who's the person that put this up here for me? Yeah, did you know this has been going around for some time and they denied this in Washington? They said it isn't true. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's hold this until I can check it out again. Maybe they've got one going now, but this was done a couple of years ago, and it was phony as a $9 bill. So we'll try it again and check it out, and definitely make it available to the class if it's true. But it has to do with a petition of Madalyn Murray OHair. To remove all Christmas programs and Christmas songs and so forth. That seems unusual for Madalyn because Madalyn's son, Bill, says that as soon as Christmas season comes, Madalyn puts the hi-fi on and puts all the Christmas records on and decorates her tree. So that seems to be a little strange for Madalyn to do that. Okay, we'll check that one out. Praise report. I appeared in Sacramento at the Interdenominational Church of God sponsorship. The Lord blessed in a remarkable way, and we had to take the local auditorium of the college, and the college auditorium was about 2/3 full the first night and built up to completely full with the exception of just a few seats in the balcony. So they ran about 1,200 the last night, and it looks as if we're going to go back for an area meeting with the cooperation of about 6 churches. And they're very happy because the cults are growing rapidly up there, and they appreciate anything that can be done. I was sponsored incidentally by a black church, the largest white Assembly of God church up there, I might add, refused to hand out any brochures, refused to do any promotion, refused to have anything to do with the meetings because this type of ministry is, quote, negative, close quote. So as a result, of course, all the people who would know about the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons and everybody else are deprived of that because the church, which sponsored a Robert Schuller meeting just recently, considers what we are doing negative. So it goes to show you that even in major denominations, such as the Assembly of God, and as well as the Southern Baptists, we have people right now, 35 years after the major explosion of the cults in America, who are turning around and saying, well, we don't want to do anything about this because that's negative. That's what gave us the rise of the cults 120 years ago. That's why we've got them today. And we have these jokers doing exactly the same thing today. So I think we should give them as wide a publicity as possible and tell everybody how cooperative they are in the defense of the faith, because they certainly were not willing to defend the gospel, and they don't defend the gospel. You know, what they want is the freedom to preach the gospel, but they don't want any responsibility to defend it. They want everybody else to defend it for them, so that they have the right to preach it. It's almost like conscientious objectors in wartime. The conscientious objector in wartime doesn't want to fight, but he wants you to fight to make sure that he has the right to be a conscientious objector. Should you ever think of it that way? That's true. He wants you to fight so he will have the right to not fight. And very interesting approach that some people have. But that's just an Assembly of God church that did that, and we have lots of churches, Baptists and Methodists and Lutherans, who follow exactly the same pattern. And that's why we have the cults. Yet they would have Dr. Schuller come in and conduct a seminar on fundraising. When Dr. Schuller, that's right, a seminar on fundraising, when Dr. Schuller rented the Crystal Cathedral to the Church of Religious Science, so that they could raise money to build more religious science churches which deny the Trinity, the deity of Christ, the virgin birth, the atonement, and the resurrection. But that's okay. But you must not defend the gospel. Now, if I sound a little upset about things like this, I am upset about things like this. And I think if we don't say something about it, nobody's ever going to know. But we ought to tell them anyhow. The meetings were very successful, and it was a small black church that sponsored it, and the pastor was telling me, who's also an attorney, that when they started, they had no idea what was going to happen. They had nothing but opposition. They canvassed every church within a 30-mile radius of Sacramento. And they got a lot of support, and they said a lot of negative comments about standing up for Christianity. The pastor said every time they got a negative comment, they redoubled their efforts. And the Lord honored that by filling up that auditorium. So we're just praising the Lord for that. And KFIA, I was on there live, has said that we'll be going back for a citywide rally, and they're going to help sponsor that rally. That's a large radio station which goes all the way to San Francisco. Also, we'll be switching satellites after the first of the year, because we've had a lot of problems with satellite communication, which have been coming through on the Bible Answer Man program, because we're on what is called a dying satellite, which means its orbit is decaying. So we're getting a lot of static. So we're trying to switch over to another satellite, and we're negotiating with the people on that subject right now. So be in prayer about it, because it's important for the program. It will open up probably 300 more stations to us if we can get on one of the newer satellites, and we're trying to do that right now. So we do need some prayer. Also, we need some very definitive prayer for the tape duplication machine, which I spoke about. Now, a member of our Bible class here has an excellent tape duplicating machine, and it's the same type machine today is selling for some $5,000, and he is willing to sell it to us at a sacrifice price. So be in prayer about that also. It would cost us about $3,000 for a tape duplicator. Be in prayer. I'm not taking any offerings for it. Just pray about it, that the Lord will supply that need, because we do need that machine very shortly, or one like it, for tape duplication. You know, there are all kinds of stations that write us all the time, saying, just send us the tapes for the Bible Answer Man program, we'll put it on free. We have difficulty doing that just for the sake of duplicating the tapes. So when you have people out there saying, give it to us, and you can't give it to them because you can't get the material out, it's a little frustrating. So be in prayer about it, and ask the Lord to answer that prayer. We're praying about it and asking Him to do it, and we feel that He very definitely will. Okay, Hank Hanegraaff, who is an expert on memory, is going to be teaching a seminar on the subject of how to remember things. How many of you have ever taken a course with Hank here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. Well, I don't have to tell you about it then. It's a very valuable thing. And he's going to be teaching that, hopefully, here at Newport Mesa Christian Center. We're trying to negotiate that right now, sometime during this month. He's going to be in California. We're going to try and combine it, because I think that people should have their memories jogged, and they should learn how to remember. Hanegraaff can teach you how to remember. If you don't know how right now, he can really teach you how to remember. He charges $15 for the seminar, which I believe runs about 3 hours. And he did one at Simon Greenleaf School of Law, which was very successful. And in this seminar, he teaches you the tricks of the trade in remembering. A lot of people think that when they get older that their minds are failing because they lose their memories. No, there's a lot of young people with exactly the same problem right now. Yes, you're laughing at me, yes. But you know it's true. Now, why have they got the problem? Well, it isn't the brain. It's the fact that you've never been trained how to do it. It is a methodology. You have to learn it, just like reading, writing, and arithmetic. So Hank is going to be teaching that. I'll announce next week the location and the date, and I urge you to go to it. Now, I have a very good memory, but mine needs jogging too. And this guy is utterly phenomenal, and he worked with Jerry Lucas, who wrote the memory book, and is very well up on the subject of how to teach you to remember. So if you're having problems with this and you'd like to really be sharp and remember, this is an educational tool. CRI doesn't get any money for announcing this, and I don't get any money for promoting this. It's something I believe it's an educational tool we ought to have. So I pass on these little goodies to you so that it will help you in your Bible study. He can teach you how to remember what you read, what you hear, everything, and remarkably to retain it. So I would suggest that you pray about it, and I'll announce next week when Hank will be here and where he will be. And if you're interested, you can sign up for that. I've been promoting this now for better than 5 years because I know the results of it. And I hope that if you are interested, you will pursue this, because it will be of value to you, I can assure you.